ACL, the word in your home.
Good morning and thanks for joining us on another wonderful edition of Good Morning Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on MCO TV. Well, we'll educate, entertain, and of course inform you with the latest around you, Nigeria and its diaspora. My name is Stella Wando. We urge you to stay glued to your television set as you wouldn't want to miss out on any of the program today. And you know, we usually start with the Divorce and Marble just to inspire you as you go out for your daily activities. And on today's Words and Marble, let us always meet each other with a smile, for the smile is the beginning of love. It's coming from Mother Teresa. It says, let us always meet each other with a smile, for the smile is the beginning of love. It is self-explanatory, telling you that whoever you meet today as you go out for your daily activities, there is need for you to smile at each other, because smile is the beginning of love. If you really want to show love, if you really want to share love, you need to start up your day with smiling at people. So as you go out today, we urge you to keep smiling at people so as to share love amongst yourselves. I welcome you once again to your one-stop breakfast show on MCL TV. Straight up to the news. President Muhammadu Buhari has disclosed yesterday that the aggregate cost of the 2019 elections is estimated at about 242 billion naira, but only about 164 billion will be spent for urgent needs of the polls because of fund constraints. In a letter read by Senate President Bukola Saraki to senators at the commencement of yesterday's session, Buhari asked that the sum of 224 billion naira of the 578 billion naira worth of projects inserted by the National Assembly into the 2018 budget be vowed or compacted for the purpose of funding the election. This will also fund 64 billion naira worth of critical projects, which the Assembly had earlier cut off from the budget. The letter tied a request for variant and supplementary 2018 budget, which, as you are aware, the 2019 general election is scheduled to be conducted early in 2019. To ensure that adequate arrangements are made for free and fair elections, it has become necessary to appropriate funds to enable the relevant agencies to commence preparations. INEC and the security agencies have accordingly recently submitted their request. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday in The Hague, Netherlands, assured the International Criminal Court (ICC) that his administration will deploy every power within its reach to conduct free, fair and violence-free polls in 2019. Buhari made this pledge while delivering a keynote address at the 20th anniversary celebration of the ICC being presided over by Nigerian Justice Chile Ebo Osoje. Buhari told the court that as Nigeria inches towards the 2019 general election, his administration will not only strive hard to conduct free and fair polls, it will also ensure that similar violence which accompanied the 2011 elections that became a subject of investigation by ICC will not repeat itself. Buhari, who congratulated Ebo Oji on his election as the president of ICC, thanked judges of the court for electing the Nigerian-born judge, whom he described as a cherished son of Nigeria, adding that Nigeria is very proud of you, Mr. President. Buhari, who recalled that ISIS was established 20 years ago as a global court following the Nuremberg trial of World War II war criminals, to help people accountable for crimes against humanity, war crimes, crimes of genocide and aggression, submitted that Nigeria had cooperated with the court in all ramifications. According to him, Nigeria's cooperation with the court is predicted on its strong belief in the principles of rule of law, as well as its commitment to fundamental freedom as contained in the subject of the ICC. Vice President Professor Yemi Oshibajo on Tuesday said the federal government will assist victims affected by the downpour which resulted in flooding that wreaked havoc in Abia local government area of Katsina State. Oshibajo gave the assurance when he visited the state to commiserate with the affected victims. He also noted that the federal government will avert a recurrence of the unfortunate incident. Vice President Oshibajo, who was in company of Governor Aminu Masari, Director General National Emergency Management Agency NEMA, Mustafa Mihajia, and his State Emergency Management Agency SEMA counterpart, Dr. Aminu Masari, visited the makeshift camp for the internally displaced persons at the Muhammad Rabiu Model Primary School Complex, Abia. Addressing the displaced persons, Oshibajo said he was in the state on behalf of President Muhammad Buhari. He assured the people that the federal government will compensate where compensation is necessary, and where rebuilding is necessary, it will do rebuild. As Nigerians, we all deserve to live our lives happily. We deserve to be treated well, and the President has assured everybody that working with the state government, we will do all that is necessary, he stated. The Senate on Tuesday confirmed the appointment of Musiliu Adeola Kimbi Smith as chairman of Police State Service (PSC) and 6 other nominees to serve in different capacities. The lawmakers also approved the appointment of Justice Clara Bata Ogumbi and Lawal Power from Northeast as Northwest as full-time commissioners. Other nominees who were confirmed as members of the commission are Mohammed Church, Najatu, Northwest, Brimo Adogem, Austin, South, and of course Romy Mom, North Central, and Dr. Nkemka Oshimiri, Jambo for Southeast. The confirmation, which came by voice votes, was sequel to a report presented by the chairman of the Committee on Police Affairs, Abdul Ibrahim. Senate President Bukola Saraki, while congratulating the new appointees, said the chamber confirmed them because of their competence. Similarly, President Muhammad Buhari has written to the Senate requesting the Bello Tuko Igawa be confirmed as chairman of Federal Civil Service Commission (FCSC) with 12 others: John from Adamawa, Borno, Jigawa, Kebbi, Ogun, Niger, Oyo, Anambra, Rivers, Kaduna, Kogi, Akwa Ibom State as commissioners. The president also constituted the governing board of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria (AMCOM) and asked the upper chamber to accordingly confirm Senator Banire Muz Adeyi as chairman. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, on Tuesday injected $210 million into the interbank foreign exchange forex market. It offered $11 million to authorized dealers in the wholesale segment of the market, while the small and medium enterprises (SME) segment got $55 million. Another $55 million was allocated to invisibles such as tuition fees, medicals, and basic travel allowance (BTA). Meanwhile, the naira continued to exchange at an average of 360 per dollar in the Bureau de Change (BDC) segment of the market on Tuesday, July 17th. In a statement, the bank's acting director of Corporate Communications Department, Isaac Okorafor, confirmed the figures and restated the bank's resolve to continue to intervene in the interbank forex market in line with its pledge to sustain liquidity in the market and maintain stability. Okorafor maintained that the continued forex intervention was to ensure that the Apex Bank met genuine customers' requests in various segments of the market. Abia South Senatorial Zone, Constitution of Aba with Aba South, Ogunabo, Obingwa, Okwa West, and Osisioma may experience useful leadership as a youth like Chinedu Onyezu has indicated his intentions to run for the senatorial seat. His aspiration was declared at a public lecture organized by the Time Is Now organization, an arm of APC, on July 14, 2018 at the Eldorado Event Center, Abia. The report.
The lecture with the theme, The Role of Youth in Strengthening Democratic Evolution in Nigeria, by the keynote speaker, Victor Kalgo, a history professor from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka UNN, highlighted the advantages of youthful leadership. He went on to urge the youth to take advantage of the opportunities and reject being used as thugs, sycophants, and agents of destabilization, encouraging them to shun the gerontocracy system and forge a new frontier made up of youths. The representative of the chairman, Abu Ibrahim Aminu Lawal Otham, equally learned his voice for the youths to begin to take frontline positions in leadership. Also, Yusuf Nalado, special advisor to President Buhari, took time to eulogize the passion of Chinedu Onyezu for his community and people in general.
Youths vote less now. They refuse membership of political parties, and they consciously distrust political institutions, whose activities they describe as a charade, defeatist, and misleading. The mistrust towards political parties and the complexity of democratic decision-making process is strengthening this negative attitude amongst the youth. And young boys and girls, the destiny of Nigeria is in their hands.
Most of the youth, they have the capacity, they have the brain, they have the strength, they have everything to contest. So now I'm just calling the Nigerian youth, instead of us to concentrate on drug abuse, bad issues, let them come out. It's not what has time, not too young to run big, which we think will go a long way in supporting and encouraging the youth coming generation to talk about the mental ability at various levels, state assembly, national assembly, senate, governors, and even presidency.
High point of the event was the formal declaration of intention to run for the office of Senate of the Abia South Zone by Chinedu Onyezu, to the admiration of the dignitaries present.
My brothers and sisters, our fathers and mothers, I am fearlessly stepping forward to distort the old style of representation.
The event was rounded off with a current affairs quiz as part of Chinedu Onyezu's scholarship scheme, with 4 people emerging tops with cash prizes. Guests were entertained with traditional dances, good food, drinks, and refreshment. It is hoped that with the Not Too Young to Run bill in full function, the nation may yet be on the right path to experiencing youthful leadership. The Time Is Now organization is an affiliation of the All Progressives Congress APC Abia chapter. Cynthia Echeme, MCR News.
Christian Academy has held its 2018 graduation ceremony recently. MCR News covered the quite colorful event. The report.
At the school main campus located at 40 to 50 Isiaba Street, Obongasi, Aba, and kicked off with the procession of graduates, followed by the rest of the students. This year's graduation ceremony was held at the magnificent hall of the school. The event featured presentation of dance, recitation, rendition of special song by the school choir, all for the entertainment of both the visitors and parents in attendance. The event also featured magazine launching and review by Chinyere Eze. The executive director of the school, in her address, narrated successes that have been recorded since the inception of the school. The accolades include producing the first teenage governor of Abia State, Joy Ezechikamnayo, and the establishment of Cambridge Center in the school, which will commence by September this year.
We built a classroom block for the classic campus, and we sent for approval for the secondary school. So we shall say we have 15 schools now, nursery, primary, secondary, times 5. In all the campuses, we have our ICT. In all the campuses now, we are tiling all the classes. The first teenage governor of Abia State. As part of our vision, having attained adulthood as a school, the school will become a center for Cambridge international examinations. Thus, exams like SAT, London DCE, IEACE, Cambridge exam, O-level TOEFL will be conducted in our school. Because of this vision, the school management is vigorously working hard to put in place the necessary facilities for full approval of the school by the British Council as a Cambridge International Exam Center, plus an affiliation of the Cambridge University, London, of intellectual giants.
The executive director, Reverend Dr. Mrs. M.E. Ngo, said the vision of the school is to provide academically all that a child needs for proper learning. She advised the students to stay away from wrong people for their destiny to be achieved in life, even as they proceed to long vacation.
If you really want to make it in life, in academia, you really have to study, not glance through, not read, study to show yourself approved.
Speaking to MCL News, some parents and graduates expressed their joy, touching on ways the school has impacted on them.
I'm very happy. I'm seeing what is happening today. I'm happy because one of my child is graduating from nursery 3 to primary. So I'm happy. It's a very nice school. It's a very good one. And I've seen it in my children.
This school has imparted many things in my life, such as my spiritual life, my moral life, and academic life.
Really, I learned how to study more when I entered here. And I learned how to bend down to read so as to make impact. Yes, to receive an award, as the director said, was not my making. It was out of God's grace and God's vision in my life.
The school is very, very magnificent, very, very enterprising, very, very fine. Since the inception of my children, they started here. And I'm so happy that one of my children is graduating from this school today. The school is very, very nice.
The graduates were generally advised to be good representatives of the school, no matter where they found themselves in life. Stella Umando, MCL News.
International Stadium, Abia, is nearing completion. MCL TV sports crew went to the stadium to ascertain the progress of work. The report.
The reconstruction of Enyimba International Stadium is to equip it with modern facilities and adequate sports equipment, which would enable the city's team, Enyimba, the People's Elephant, to play with ease in all competitions. A visit to the stadium revealed that it is nearing its completion. The FIFA-approved 100% geotechnology synthetic grass has been laid with adequate stadium drainage and sub-base. It was gathered that the unique feature of geotechnology synthetic grass is that the pitch does not overheat during high temperature, as it is non-toxic. Also, the maintenance of the turf will not be expensive. The difference in the reconstruction of Enyimba International Stadium this time is the construction of toilet facilities, which were not in existence at the stadium before now. The contractor handling the project stated that the toilet facilities is to discourage spectators from defecating indiscriminately. The contractor assured that the project will be concluded in 4 weeks.
And I toilet, standing there with toilet. I walk or match international standard. No, the mother name Messi River up. But you go when he hand out or the key hand I got the post. The whole stand again, which but all in Watagodinka.
Roofs of different stands have also been given a facelift to ensure spectators watch various matches comfortably.
We are doing the scaffolding for this stand. So, because the scaffold work now is to assist the people that are zinking the top of the stand, to assist them in doing the edges. If you can see that, we are done with that. We have finished everything.
Some Enyimba supporters who spoke to EMS All News expressed satisfaction at the quality of work done. They commended the Abia state government as well as contractors for their efforts in completing the project. They confirmed that the new pitch will encourage large crowds to watch matches.
Wow, as you can see, Enyimba Stadium is very, very beautiful right now. In fact, as it stands now, I can't even express how joyful I am now. I can't believe what my eyes is seeing. There is no, by the time the contractors will be done with the work, you definitely see that there is no difference between Enyimba Stadium and those stadiums in Europe.
From the time he started restructuring of the stadium, we know that the stadium will be fantastic. Now, Enyimba Stadium is more standard now than before. And we expect that the stadium will attract more supporters, both in Abia State and outside the Abia State, whenever we are playing home match here.
The Enyimba under reconstruction is a 25,000-seater stadium. Jonah Oji, EMS All News.
Alright, with that sports report, we've come to the end of the news segment on Good Morning Abia. We'll go for a break. When we come back, it will be time for us to go through the national dailies. Please, do stay with us.
Good Morning Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
Time to rebuild Abia. I urge you to set aside our differences so that together we can join hands and build the Abia of our dreams. Remember that my word is my bond.
One-stop breakfast show on TV.
For inquiries and booking, contact Address Hotel and Suites at number 18 Opobo Road, Obo Hill, Aba. Telephone 081 000 00895 or 081 000 00896. Address, the pride of hospitality and tourism.
Have you heard of Prescal World and Heaven Options Limited? Prescal is a home of direct image right here in Abia. Why go to Lagos or Port Harcourt for your direct image jobs? Come to Prescal World and Heaven's Options located at number 145 Azikwe Road, Abia for perfect cover page, journals, magazines, brochures, and flyers. We also offer printing services in digital flex and billboard, window graphics, posters, stickers, heat transfers, ID cards, complimentary cards, monogram, and car branding. Heaven Options offer you entertainment services like event management, ambulance services with well-dignified undertakers. We can also boast of 3 months ordinary program in computer training, 6 months certificate in computer training, and 1 year advanced certificate in computer training. Why not visit Prescal and experience that quality jobs? For inquiries, call 080-33-22-6115, 070-40-24-7196, 070-84-69-8165.
Do not deface Abia State with posters. Do not defecate on our streets. Do not litter Abia State.
My brothers, I say wetin man go do for this world where people no go talk. If you chop,
Do not urinate in public places.
you no chop, dem go talk. Wetin make we do for this world? say make we dey do the things wey we carry for heart. Na so world want am. Abi no be so?
Keep Abia State clean. This message is brought to you by MCL TV.
Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
Alright, thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Good Morning Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on MCL TV. It is now time for us to go through the national dailies, and as usual, we are starting with the Daily Sun. At the top right of Daily Sun newspaper this morning, impeachments. Imo Deputy Governor supporters shut down Owerri. Fresh APC congresses hold this weekend. The story you can get on page 38 of the Daily Sun. The major headline in front of the Daily Sun newspaper this morning says 2019 polls. Federal government sees approval for 242 billion naira. Funds for election materials, security, logistics and others. That's the write-up following that boldly written headline there. And of course the story you can get on page 6 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Now the picture elements Senate President Bukola Saraki acknowledging cheers from supporters during his visit to Ilorin State. Underneath that, it's laughable to say I have defected to APC, says Umahi. Go to page 38 and get a story. Protests are still die in Edo flood. It's a sad one. Go to page 11 and get the details of what that is saying and how it all happened. Courts martial sentences soldiers to death, jail terms. Go to page 4 and get the story. Moving down beneath the front page of Daily Sun newspaper, it says Ekiti election falls below global standards, says observers. Ekiti election falls below global standards, says observers. The story you can get on page 11 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Now we'll move straight up to the back page of the Daily Sun newspaper. At the top there, he said hard fast coming from Michael Zekome. He says the many gays of Buhari government. The second part of it. Go to page 47 and get the story. Al Nasir Rihad confirms £30 million bid for Musa. Go to page 46 and get the story. Moving down, public forum, Charles Dixon. He says the lies in our national life. The lies in our national life. You see the picture element of President Muhammad Buhari. And let me quickly read out something that is coming out from there. When an ordinary citizen lies to another about the cause of a thing as simple as the shoes on his feet, does he or she not deserve lies in turn from those that ordinarily should be responsible with the truth to him? What really is rocket science about a minister addressing the truthful status of his service to the nation? After all, if no be lie, time will definitely tell. And that is it with the Daily Sun newspaper this morning. Now we'll move straight up to the Nation. At the top left of our Nation newspaper this morning, it says, Okorocha to Ume, you are a failed senator. You are a failed senator. It's found on page 44 of the Nation newspaper. Now closer to that, Tinubu, direct primary will deepen democracy. You can get the story on page 7 of the Nation newspaper. Eagle Star Etabo turns down Watford move. Go to page 46 and get the story. Court serves Dasuki's release order on DSS. Go to page 9 and get the story. Boris sees payment of 228.9 billion naira for 2019 polls. You can get the details of that on page 6 of the Nation newspaper. President to unveil single window at seaports, airports, border stations. The story completed on page 2 of the Nation newspaper. Moving down, Smith is PSC chair. Go to page 8 and get the story. I respect Buhari but can't join APC, says Omahi. Go to page 44 and get the story. The boldly written headline there says, banks as CEOs indicted as 720 billion naira cash disappears. Banks as CEOs indicted as 720 billion naira cash disappears. National Health Insurance Scheme audit covers how funds were stolen through curious investment. NHIS audit uncovers how funds were stolen through curious investment. Go to page 6 and get the story. Casino flood death toll hits 52. Federal government to assist victims. 100 houses destroyed in Yobe. Boys swept away in Benin. Go to page 6 and get the story. Moving down, Bayelsa, APC, PDP fight over lawmakers' allegations. Go to page 41 and get the story. NDDC flees office shut down. It's found on page 41 of the Nation newspaper. Now we'll quickly move to the back page of Nation. Comment and debate is coming from Louis Odion, the bottom line. He says, Ekiti, the triumphant of stomach infrastructure. The triumph of stomach infrastructure. You see the picture element of Fayoshe and of course Fayemi. Now read up all the details at the back there. As Benue bites the bullet. As Benue bites the bullet. It's just a headline at the back there. Moving down on hardball, the slump in my head. The slump in my head is on hardball. Now to the repost, Saraki, a mole in APC, says party chieftain. Since inception. That's the response following that. Now move straight up to the New Telegraph, which has interesting headlines. At the top there it said, federal government unveils new national career today. Federal government unveils new national career today. Minister meets aircraft makers in UK. Domestic airlines freed. The story, go to page 4 and get the details of that. Workers shut down Isomobile over sack of 860 Nigerians. Go to page 9 and get the story. Moving down, Dasuki, court serves release order on GSS and AGF. Go to page 6 and get the story. Schools, hospitals, markets shut over Ebonyi Cross River crisis. Go to page 5 and get the story. Protest as flood sweeps away 6-year-old boy. Sad one. Go to page 9 and get the story of what that is saying. Now, while we deny Southern leaders landing permits, says NAF. The story you can get on page 7 of the New Telegraph. Now the boldly written headline is Saraki legislators perfect moves to dump APC. The fourth writer following that says Senator Nyako Buhari's supporters defect to ADC. Otom's absence stalls peace talks on Benue crisis. Oshomole pacifies Senate President. Go to page 2 and get the story. And of course, the picture element, the BUA's $350 million cement plant comes on stream. That's the headline on top of the picture elements there. And of course, you see Executive Chairman, CEO, BUA Group, Alhaji Abdul Samad Rabiu, Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, Governor of Sokoto State, Right Honorable Aminu Tambawa, now Governor Atiku Bagudu of Kebbi State, and Senator Adamo Aliero during the inauguration of BUA's Galambiana cement plant in Sokoto yesterday. Beneath the picture element there, Buhari budgets $242 billion naira for 2019 elections. Executive legislators shut down imminent overwhelmment. Go to page 4 and get the story. Now on health, eating cucumber could reduce blood sugar levels. Eating cucumber could reduce blood sugar levels is found on page 6 of the New Telegraph. Straight up to the back page of New Telegraph, civil society in civil-military relations, the second part of it, civil society in civil-military relations. It's coming from Festus Okoye on hard choices. You see the picture elements, all for knowing. Now, let me quickly read out something that is coming out from there. When some of them are in positions of authority, they rail against civil society groups and organizations, and when they get into trouble, they run from pillar to post trying to get civil society groups and organizations to speak up in defense of human rights and the rule of law. Go to the back page there and get the details of that fully. Now on High Chief Ekiti election, worst political robbery in Nigeria, says Nyesom Wike, that's the River State governor. The response there says, but it was free and fair like the one in 2014. Okay, of course with that we've come to the end of the newspaper review. Just immediately after the program, go to the nearest vendor, buy any of the papers, and need more of the headlines we will just read out to you this morning. You're still watching Good Morning Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on MCO TV. We'll go for a break. When we come back with the program, we'll continue. Please stay with us.
One-stop breakfast show on TV.
The makers of this movie are 9 women from the Niger Delta. None of us has ever made a film before, but we were keen to learn as we have a story to share with the world. Our story is different from the usual media reports about oil outputs, conflict and kidnapping. It focuses on the everyday lives of women. It's situated in the Niger Delta, but we believe it applies to many women around the world.
No, 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 no. Oh, yeah. I'm in chains, you're in chains too. Our uniforms and you are uniforms too. I'm a prisoner, you're a prisoner too, Mr. Jailer. Oh, I have fears, you have fears too. I'll die, but you said will die too. Life is beautiful, don't you think so too, Mr. Jailer? I'm talking to you, Jailer. Stop calling me a prisoner. Let me hear if we
Delta was believed to be on a crossroad towards a better future. The Nigerian president granted amnesty to armed local groups claiming to fight for the environmental and social rights of the Niger Delta people. The amnesty deal and follow-up measures helped to reduce the much reported violence and kidnappings in the region. But it didn't lessen the price that local people have to pay for the oil and gas extracted from their backyard.
The oil don't spoil everything for us. Before we dey go fishing, but because of this oil, the fishing not good again. In the olden days, when the oil never spoil our place, all kind of fish, big fish, we dey catch bonga fish, we dey catch tilapia, we dey catch fish. But now, as the oil don't spoil every place. Before you get fish now, you go inside big river before you get down here. So, let me at the pick prewenko now. And the prewenko where they pick before, I pick 3 bags, 5 rubber for 1 bag. But now because of the oil that spoil everywhere, now only 1 konkom, 1 rubber paint. Now they pick now. And that rubber konkom I they sell for 500 naira. That 500 naira, no they leash anything. Early morning, now they take go deliver. And before I come back to my house, sometimes 5 o'clock, sometimes 6 o'clock. The money is not enough. The thing what happened for me is that the little money that I have, I use it to pay my children's school fees. God have helped me to train them for school. But the thing where they make me not happy where they say, my daughter UK is supposed to go to university. But because I don't get money now, they're making they help me to do small work so that he will feel help the family. But if you say I get money, I will allow my daughter to go to university so that when he come back, he can help the family well. What I want to change from my life now is poverty. I don't want poverty to come near me, because poverty is dangerous. It can lead you to something that you don't want to enter inside.
I remember my mother told me that I want you to go to school. I don't want you to get pregnant along the way. I want you to read and study honorably. Where are you going to? I achieved that goal. And today, if you go and meet my mother, ask her, she'll be proud. She'll tell you that I did not fail her. How far? You're fine. I grew up with my mom. Saying I was small when my parents separated. Maybe about a year, 3 months, a year, 6 months. It affected my mom because my dad was doing well. He was okay financially. And so for her to live like that, it wasn't something she prepared for. He just told her to go back to the village as if I will come back and settle you. She left and never returned again back to her matrimonial home. So she started all over, struggling. She had to start baking meat pie, fish roll, egg roll, buns. She sell. People will come back, sell. She will sell for them either at 5, 6 a.m. in the morning. And she was struggling, and she knew that not being a graduate is going to pose a problem. And she used to say, it's because I didn't go to school. That was why your dad played with me. And so she had to start all over again. And she said somebody just told her about this health school. And thank God she went back to school. And we are all beneficiaries of that, because that is why she's able to stand where she is today. She was responsible for everything as I was growing up. Anything I want, I go to her, because there was no dad. I was going to her. I didn't see my dad. Not even for a day. Until the day I went to him, that I've gained admission into university. And he said, no, you can't be responsible, that I should go ahead and tell my mother to continue. She should take all the glory. So I went back to my mom crying. She said, okay, I'll try. My salary is not much, but I'll try.
Her education was important to me because it's a challenge. Because when I look back, I lost my father, my mother was not with us. We suffer in different ways, both clothing and feedings, education. Nobody was ready to train us that time. So my sister was there, I myself was there like that. Until when I was about 14 years, they said it is marriage. I must marry.
Grew 15 years, I don't marry. That 15 years I don't marry, can't enter the other year, I get pregnant. First pregnant I get, and twins I get. That one never reached to born. The pikin, the two, now gears, you don't die finish. I born 11 children, 5 died, 6 day life. That they marry self, that I know they happy, when they go school self. And 6, now the risk before I stop marry. The man I come call me. I don't tell your papa self, your papa don't agree you. And you go marry you. Huh? For which time? Hey, I don't give her the money finish self. Now just quiet, I don't dey talk. I come marry. That they marry self. Now my papa, I come happy. Marry, bring money, I won't stop. Now they happy, they laugh, and they do. And my mama not they happy self. Because if I did do something for farm where I go, cook or I did that time. I got get 3 wives. What village? Nah, this character 9B. 3, 4, 7 to get her to marry one person. I know he get wife. He tell me he get wife. That time, my husband, they married 3rd wife. Don't tell me for the car. Come ask. Don't tell me. This my life. I can't happy. I get husband. I don't marry. I did life. You get picky self. Come happy. Oh, my pa, kore mi ye, my pa, kore mi yo. Lela bari naipe, today. My husband died 2005. Na sickness kill him. Then operated my husband 3 times. Say the 3 times, the last one, that is, they operated him. We come back from home. The leg come begin to swallow up. So I told him to go to the hospital again. So he go to the hospital. As he go to the hospital, as soon as he drink the medicine that they give him, the thing just come all over his body. You could just swell up everywhere, from here down. Now on a head. Now you will see. Sometimes when your husband died, their compound people will not allow you to take anything that belongs to you. They will take everything that belongs to your husband. My father-in-law disappointed me. After the burial, I first go there. Say, why no one release something where belongs to me, to my children, Same time he say, no one any other person to farm that farm. If you give me half, you not agree. Nowhere to stay in that their compound. Now only that my mama, my papa place, now they stay. Then I told my children that we will go. So that is why even all my things, no one, even pin, all of them did for that place.
Having the names of the wife in properties or in bank accounts is not common in this part of the world. I work with a community development organization. We promote participatory development, and key aspect of our development work is gender. In protecting one's wife against the challenges widows face at the demise of their husband, we can go to the court to have our marriage registered. That is one. It gives the woman the power to stand at the demise of the husband. And secondly, if you are buying a property, land, other fixed assets or properties, you name it, including your wife's name in the property, then nobody can claim it.
In most Niger Delta communities, land and family properties are allocated to men. Nigerian law grants inheritance rights to widows whose marriages are registered. But many couples in the Niger Delta are married by traditional law only. The fate of widows in such marriages is in the hands of their male in-laws, who typically decide how the household properties are distributed.
This land that they go plant something smith. Now my husband land. Now my husband give me self. And they do self. And they divide them. That one na my own. The other wife self. Their own are separate. One side na so they happen. They no get picking for the man self. The man can't die self. The land self. Family people no give. They collect the land from woman. I get picking self. No fit to drag you.
I have farm before, but now, since my husband died, they remove all those things from me. The thing that I do to survive is to go job for people in the farm. The thing where they make me proud is that I get strength. Because if I go farm now, or any place where they send me to go, I get the strength to do any work they give me to do. Anywhere I will go, I can go. This contract work for people, the money is not enough. Because sometimes my children go sick. You carry them, go buy medicine. Books, from there, I they buy books. Feeding for house, from there, now they feed my children too. So the money is not enough. He don't know. What? He don't. So when my husband is alive, my children used to chop better food more than this time. Now then they chop 2 times, but before we used to chop 3 times a day.
Initially, I didn't tell my mother the painful side of my school life. After today, you'll be coming to greet me every morning in my office. I took it as a joke and left. And as a new student, it's not that I was really thinking anything negative. I just told somebody, I said that this lecturer said I should be coming to greet him every morning. She said, don't do that too. Do you know the implication? It's not just the greeting, don't do that. So truly, I did not go. But after some time, she was called and said, I told you to come and greet me, and you refused greeting me. Do you know I'm in possession of your results? I can do whatever I want with your results. I was afraid, and I know the implication. Going to greet him means going to bed with him.
A lot of friends advised us, you go to your lecturer first to check your scores, then before you go to your department to see what you have there. So went to this lecturer, I wasn't having any carryover, and my least score there was C. I was very happy, and just truly, when the final result was pasted in front of my department, I had 2 carryovers. So I went back to the lecturer. I said, sir, there's something funny happening. I said, I checked my results here. I got B, but the one in the department is not like that. He now brought out his own master list. I checked it. I got B there. I went back to the department. Now I said, okay, I should go and meet my course advisor. So I went there. So I said, sir, he said, there's a mistake somewhere. I have 2 carryovers, and I've already checked my grades with the lecturers in charge, and I have an A and B. He now said, yes, that the lecturers can give me their grades, but he, as a course advisor, has the final say. And for that reason, I have 2 carryovers. I said, so what will I do? He said, the only solution is going to bed with him. Either here in his office or going to Obiaruku, wait for him in an hotel room. I said, sir, I can't do it. I'm a Christian. He now said, if you are a Christian, that is the beginning of your problem. I was like, but you are a deacon in your church. He became angry. I went to 2 lecturers complaining, but at the end of the day, everybody was shying away from the truth, and I was left alone to fight my cause. Fortunately, I was having a friend then who today is my husband. He heard of the case, and he had one sister in the department. He introduced me to her, and I went to her as a woman. I explained, and she told him she's going to assist me. But immediately he left, she told me, said, look, every other person is doing it. You shouldn't be an exception. If you want to get out of this department with good grades, you have to go to bed with him. After all, is he any man that is going to get married to you? Will he use a thermometer to test whether you have slept with this lecturer or not? So nobody will know. Just do it, get out, and you get yourself free. The only person that I can call and explain to is my elder brother that from the onset know about the problems. And he said, okay, let's just give him money. So went to this lecturer. There and then he accepted and said I should go with the 3rd class. And my brother asked me, said, do you want to go with the 3rd class, or you still want us to fight the case? I said, let me go with the 3rd class, because no, fighting further will not do me any good. So I stopped. The experience was really painful because you have to read all through the night, do all your assignments, but at the tail end, you're having a third class. So when I got home, I have to tell my mother before they see my results. I told them, my mother was mad. Why did you not tell me? So I decided to conceal it from her because it's going to be very, very painful. She raised me as a single parent. And I remember her telling me that when she left my father's house, she told my father that she is going to make sure that she trained me as a graduate, just as he is going to train his other children. When my mother left, my father took the boys, and so I was left alone with my mother. It was as if, as a female child, anything can happen to you.
Last year, 2 of my kids they died. 4 dog grew 3 years. 4 can die. That time, my children they sick. That time, no get doctor. Now, native medicine I they give her. Now me kids they die.
Primary health care has been a challenge. If you move around communities in the Niger Delta, you will find out that it has been neglected for a long time. The tertiary and maybe secondary health care, sometimes it's a little bit functional because it's in the city. But the primary health has been facing challenges from the lack of equipment or health materials. There is also insufficient health practitioners. Even the quarters for the doctors to stay. As you go to some communities, there are no provision for quarters. Where do we expect the doctor or other health workers to stay? People now, they want to also use self-medication because they don't believe that if they go there to the health facilities, they'll see a doctor or a health worker. They resort to medicine dealers and just buy drugs, which may result in other complications. The poor primary health care provision in the communities, I would say, impact more on the women and the children, even before the men.
Women need more health care than men in view of pregnancies and deliveries. The maternal mortality rate in the core Niger Delta ranks second highest in the world. Many women fail to go for antenatal checkups as functional facilities are far away. Transport costs and domestic engagements hinder many of them from using the free services. The journey, often made by canoe or motorbike taxi over bumpy roads, can be fatal in the case of emergencies.
One of my pikin they die. I no dey go check up. Money no dey for hospital, go hospital. I can't go chemist. Na chemist I dey born. They give the medicine for me, but the pikin, I no sick the body self. I say, don't die. I dey tell me. My man self now, so they think they carry and go general hospital self. You no go die again.
Every year, 1 out of every 7 children in the core Niger Delta states is estimated to die before the age of 5. The number of under 5 deaths is over 65,000 per year, out of a total population of almost 12 million people. These deaths far outnumber the casualties of the much reported violence and kidnappings in the region. Yet, we hardly ever hear about them in the news.
the government had to take a proactive step to look into the health service delivery. If not, sincerely, you go to some community, it's not just the equipment or health materials. You see malnutrition. You see it face to face. You see children with very big tummy, tiny legs, big head, and you ask yourself, why this?
Many are holding the Nigerian government accountable for inadequately investing the oil and gas revenues it receives in public services. Not only healthcare, but also drinking water facilities are lacking in many communities. People often have to buy water at private boreholes or fetch it from rivers and streams. The endless task of fetching water weighs heavily on the shoulders of women. They usually are the ones fetching water, sometimes assisted by their children. It eats into their available time for generating an income.
Water not there for us. Every time I go fresh water. I won't bath fresh water. My pikin won't bath, I go fresh water. I won't cook, I go fresh water. I won't boil water, I go fresh water. I won't wash clothes, I go fresh water. This place, then they bath, then they sit, then they wash clothes. Now let me to go far. I go enter canoe, I go fresh water, come back.
The rainy season used to relieve women from the burden of carrying water, as rainwater could be used for household needs. Nowadays, this option is lost to many.
When rain falls, our water is too black. To the extent, even though you put cup inside that water, the cup will stay. Even though you put them for clothes, so you go wash them, you know if you take that clothes again because of the blackness of the water. That is why every time they go borehole, because you know if you take that water, do anything. Now the oil, now I do all these things. Now I spoil our water like that.
Oil companies in the Niger Delta flare the natural gas associated with oil extraction straight into the air. This is cheaper than turning it into gas that is suitable for consumption. Toxic particles from the flared gas are carried along with the rainwater as it falls. Nigeria flares more natural gas than any other country.
It's obvious that the oil activities, around the Delta has caused great damage to the aquatic life. The people are predominantly fishermen, and this impacts on their income, the ability for them to make income through their fishing activities. And the women are most impacted because women do river and creek fishing. But men do both river, creek fishing and deep sea fishing. The rivers are more polluted than the ocean because the ocean is a wide expanse of water. And also there are other traditional occupations like lumbering. They are more into artisan activities. They are builders, they are welders. So they can easily move from the rural communities to the city to start a new life, to get a job, which is not very easy for the women.
The amount of oil that has leaked into the Niger Delta since the first oil extraction activities in the 1960s is more than 3 times as much as the oil that was spilled into the Gulf of Mexico in 2010. Recent environmental disasters like the Bonga oil spill in December 2011 and the Finua gas explosion in January 2012 hardly made headlines around the world. UNEP estimates it will take at least 30 years to clean up all the oil and gas pollution in the region, assuming the political will is available.
the prices of fish is rising because the alluvial has been polluted and they don't come anymore to breed, or you have very few coming in to breed. Now, fish is imported, or fish products are imported, and women, they have to alternate their livelihood because if they can't fish, they have to do something to earn a living. So rather, they buy fish products to sell, and there is no power to preserve it. They eventually will smoke the remaining stock and sell as smoked fish. So most women are now going into that rather than fishing.
Now imported fish, all of us they chop now. When I come back, when I buy the fish, I'll go river. I'll go cut wood. When I cut and come, I break them. When I break them, finish. I can set the fire, put the fish on top, dryer, put fire on top for the fish so that the fish don't get spoiled.
The income of the women has been greatly impacted on. The alternative livelihood is not as convenient as a woman going to the river to fish and sell. Now you have to buy before you can sell, and most of them don't have the resources.
The discrimination you face is as if, what were you doing in school that made you come out with the third class? Because you're a young girl, you all have all the opportunity to read, so why did you come out with such a very bad grade? And it's not everybody you can go and tell that, look, I was harassed by my lecturer and the consequences is what you are seeing on my result now.
Mommy! Yes, dear. Mommy, that was so my name.
So sometimes people used to encourage me that it's not really the grades that is making you unemployed. It's just the trend. Don't worry sometimes. This is my 10th year as a graduate. Who gave you the name? I said no. I told my mother, I said, I won't write any application again. Let me go into my own business. So I paid and told somebody to teach me how to make soap. Liquid soap, bar soap, all kind of soap. I said, because if I'm there, nobody comes there and asks me my results. I just need to fight my way, get registered and get going, instead of seeing myself being messed up by people asking me questions that I will not want to hear, and that things that will keep reminding me of what happened in school. So I said, self-employment is just the best. Just the best. I am a graduate of industrial mathematics. So I'm applying my mathematics skills there. I calculate how many grams. Sometimes when you say, okay, I want to produce 20 liters of soap, 50 liters, 100 liters, how many grams will I use when I want to produce 100 liters of soap? Wow, mathematics comes in there.
We had to make a mold for tablet soap. We use the soldering iron here to weld the names on the base that we have already cut. So this one is for our business name, Roger, named after one of the kids, the boy. The toilet soap will carry the girl's name. We have planned it like that.
If I see my fellow woman or a young girl just going into the university and she's telling me she's having a problem like this, that a lecturer is harassing her sexually, what's our advice? It's better to leave that school. Because you can't really fight these people. You can't fight the school authority. The government is not ready to do anything about it. They just feel students go into the university, they take care of any problem they face. I have a daughter now. I won't be comfortable sending my daughter to a government university, because if I send her there, if there's any problem arising, I won't be able to fight her cause. But if I send her to a private university, I can pick up that case and they will be able to do something because it's going to tell on the reputation of the school. And so they want to fight back and deal with the lecturer. But I won't like to have to go to the government university because it's a common thing there. It must have to be a private university. And that is more work for me. I have to work hard so I can be able to send that to a private university.
This tomato, a woman I be go farm the plenty. Some men nine they go, no plenty. My farmer they go so they plant cassava with yam with plantain. So do gari, they go bush, they pull cassava come, they carry and go reach town. Time they peel 4 hours. Not be only me they peel cassava. Me and my children and they peel cassava. They wash her.
Food crops traditionally produced by women like cassava and periwinkle often require tedious processing. Market prices poorly reflect the amount of labor that women invest. Cash crops like yam that hardly require processing bring in at least as much money as cassava flour that takes several days of processing. These cash crops are more often produced by men. Many women lack the starting capital needed for buying yam tubers.
They can come yourself now. 89 the grana. Come grana finish. Come filter. That one finish. You come fryer. But don't fry finish. And it goes smooth. You come filter. They fry them finish. Dry para finish. They come filter again.
Many food items produced by women do not generate an income, as they are used for home consumption. The little money that women make is often spent on domestic and family needs.
Before I reach 8 bag, we sell 3. They remain 5. That 5 they remain so. Now soap, now they soap. Curry would they sell. They use that money to buy everything, rice, with picking set, they buy. That month of bonus, they fall, they pick up, they carry and go money to pay school fee.
Most women barely build up savings, so they have little to fall back on if they lose their husbands and the property allocated to them by tradition.
200.
250,
I beg, give me 200. I beg.
Women have less time available for earning an income than men. Daily tasks like cooking and doing laundry and dishes take up much of women's time. Crops need to be grained and pounded by hand. Many women use firewood stoves, for which wood needs to be gathered and cut before the cooking can even get started.
Only very, very few men will go, very far in assisting the women. Well, men in my community, like every African man, you want to sit at the table and being served. And, after meal, you wait for the kids or your wife to come and take the plates. Men, generally, they don't, only very few, I would say less than 5%, would really want to go out to assisting their wife doing, the chores.
I'm very feeling bad because of what they have brought to the women. That's why we sit down for outside and waiting to go and find fish and other things come. So our prayer is that we are still praying for our women. Some they helping their women, but me myself I also helping my wives because I'm not married only one woman. I'm married 3 women. So some of them don't go bush, some of them are business. So some don't go bush and find fish and root cassava. This period is the season of cassava. So some don't go.
So, I beg, how old today when only you come marry 3 wives? And what make you marry 3 wives?
Old 35, because I want to born a plenty. I want to make my child them get half brother and sister. That's why I married 3 wives.
So, as you married 3 wives, so how many children you hope to get from these 3 wives?
15, 17. I have prepared about 17 children. I'm okay.
My body no go good. I born this one finish. If I go meet doctor, make he give me medicine. I no want to born again.
Madam Mariroka is my wife. I have 6 children with her. Well, it is affecting her. The way I see her, sometimes it's a week. That is only what I see her. I'm not a physician. I don't know the other movement inside her body. I don't know. As an adult man, I would not like to stop her born. So I will still try. I will still let her to born for me. This is our Ijaw culture. Right? So we used to born plenty of children. So that is the way I see it.
For both of here, the culture says that when your husband died, women should not marry. But if you are a man and your wife died, you can marry. So because of that, the culture hold me that I should not marry.
It is not fair with us women. I don't know why it is right for a man whose wife died to remarry, and to a woman whose husband died not to remarry again. This rule was made by our forefathers based on the tradition that once you've been married for life. Unless the person is alive and divorce you, you can remarry or marry a new husband, but you must return the bride price to the husband. You've been owned by that man. So everything you acquired in life belongs to the man. You must return them to that man, and you go with empty-handed to go and marry your new husband. The children you got, every wealth you made, you will return. After the death of your husband, nothing will make you to marry any longer, based on the tradition that who will you give the bride price to?
Before I born, I come and see that tradition. My mama, they very young when my fathers died. For this thing, people they sleep for night. My mother and me will go close the water side, we go buy fish. Before you come back sometime, 6 o'clock, you know we sleep. Now so my mother and me suffer till now, till the time when my mother died too. So as I born come. Now so I see saying that the tradition where they, me I not like them. Because the suffer is too much. Thank you.
I don't know, but women has not made any move. Women had not made any move since my existence till now that I'm old. We only keep silent and stay like that.
Women have not been part of decision making in communities. The men sit together, take decision. If you go to some communities, you may see one or two in the community development committee, but they are just there. They are just there. They are just members. They don't have any flavor into the decisions that are being made. So in engaging with communities, we try to make them understand the importance of the woman. Thank you. Men accepting to change the status quo, it's a challenge. I remember there was a meeting we held somewhere in Akwa Ibom State, and as we discussed intensively on the need for women to participate in decision making, some men walked out of the meeting. They walked out of the meeting, but we were not discouraged. We went on. If we come together to prioritize needs with the women, you see them longing to have an intervention on health care and water. But the men, most times, they want to see, you know, some like town hall, school building, and some other physical structures, you know, that will give the community some aesthetic beauty, you know, kind of structure. But the women are more into the soft part of development, like income generating activities, you know, where we talk about trades and, you know, every component in trade, the market, transportation, and things like that, and water.
Enhancing women's participation in decision-making might help to set issues on the public agenda that currently are not prioritized, including water supply, healthcare, and economic development. Conflict transformation processes in the Niger Delta need to move beyond disarming and settling local groups and should start to tackle some of the underlying causes of the human rights crisis. The fragile peace in the region may not be sustained if no serious work is made of protecting people's rights to food, water, and a healthy living environment.
I believe that when women gathered and come out, that let us go and talk about this.
Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
Alright, thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Good Morning Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on MCL TV. It is now time for us to discuss, and of course today we are looking at effect of multiple political parties in Nigeria, and we have a lecturer here, Mr. Okeji Okereke, who will be discussing with us on this topic today. So good to have you on the program this morning.
Thank you. Good morning, Adams.
He is a political analyst, and of course he's also a lecturer with Abia State Polytechnic. As the presidential and gubernatorial election continue to count down, a lot of people begin to ask questions concerning the registered political parties. Nigeria today stands at 68 registered political parties, but our politics is currently dominated by two main or four forties: the main opposition party, that's People's Democratic Party, PDP, and the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, APGA and Labour Party. The just concluded Ekiti election had 35 political parties that contested for the Ekiti gubernatorial election. Some of the parties were not able to get 1% of the total vote. This is the question we have, this is what we've invited the experts to take a look at the issue that has to do with multiple political parties, and of course the two dominated political parties in Nigeria, talking about the PDP and of course the ruling APC party. Now, sir, 60 registered political parties in Nigeria. What's your take? Isn't it too much?
No. It's a mark of democracy.
A mark of democracy?
Yes, in a democratic setting, one of the fundamental rights of the people is that of association. And the fundamental rules will actually usually be set. And once a collection of persons put their resources together and meet the necessary requirements, you register them as a political party. And so it's healthy for the society because some persons may wake up and look at the existing political parties and say that their disposition, their perspectives, their expectations are not in line with those of the existing parties. They have the right to establish their own. But basically, there are fundamental rules. And once they meet the fundamental rules, as stipulated, it differs from country to country, and depending on given conditions. And INEC, that is in charge of registration of political parties in Nigeria, have outlined the necessary rules. And so those that meet the necessary rules are registered. It's healthy for the society. Let people have opportunities of associating so that they won't look as if they are being compelled to be with a group that they don't want to be with.
Do you still believe that they are really associated with the people they want to, going by what happened in Ekiti State, where we have about so many parties that registered, that 35 political parties that registered for the election? Not only the other parties aside the PDP and APC got 1% of the votes. In given historical developments in society, there are alignments and realignments because politicians are usually propelled by one, personal desires to occupy political offices, two, perhaps to a lesser extent in Nigeria, issue of ideological dimension. And so that there are 35 political parties or thereabout that contested the Ekiti election, and perhaps only two emerged strongest, is a product of historical development. In America, we have the Republican and Democratic parties. Sometimes people mistake it to mean that in America we have two political parties. No, when we talk about two-party system in political science, we refer to a condition in which there are what we call two majority-bent parties. And what we mean is that two parties that have the strength to alternate in government, to beat each other at different periods in time. In America, we have upwards of 35 and above political parties. But just like what happened in Ekiti, at the time of election, the two majority-bent parties will usually be the ones that will be prominent. But the others, sometimes, at the House of Assembly level, as House of Reps or senatorial level, may be in one seat or the other. We have a farmers party, religious-oriented parties in the United States, where you will usually hear of Democrats and the Republicans. The only problem we have with Nigerian setting is that our politicians are not principled. Over years, it will be difficult for you to hear that a Republican in America moved over to the Democratic Party, vice versa. But in Nigeria, I see it as a thing of shame sometimes. You're watching the television and you see a senator stand up and say, I'm defecting from APC to... It shows that you never had any principle. There should be fundamental principle. You watch the terrain and know where you want to pitch your camp. It shouldn't be an everyday affair. Everybody the camping. It makes a mess of the whole thing and shows that our politicians are absolutely self-interested. They are motivated by self-interest, not the interest of serving the society. If they had that interest of serving the society, then they will stay at whatever political party they have chosen, and from inside seek reorganization of the party and make the party to progress along the line of provision
of the needs of the society. But no, once a politician in Nigeria is not able to get what he desires in terms of being given the chance to represent the party at one level or the other, and you hear him shouting, "I'm the campaign," that shows the person doesn't have principle and honor, and of course dignity. And that is what actually is a problem with Nigerian politics, not the number of political parties, but the caliber of politicians we have.
Okay, in as much as you said the multiple political parties in Nigeria is the strength of the democracy, can't you also think we should run a two-party system in Nigeria? Looking at the way politicians do, and once you enter into this party, you are bound not to defect to the other party, so that we'll have a stronger party, and of course people that will have the interests of the masses at heart.
Yes, number one, you don't force the system. Babangida actually attempted that when he organized the Republican Party and the Social Democratic Party and compared persons to join either of the two. But there was a fundamental error and the system collapsed because he did not understand the meaning of two-party system. He had thought as a military man that two-party system means where you force people to join only two parties. But as I've already stated, you have two-party system means the existence of two majority-based parties. Yeah. Not that there will not be other political parties. And usually, two-party system emerges from historical developments in the society. Yeah. In America, there were so many other parties, but with time, the Republicans and the Democrats emerged as the two strongest political parties. And so, you cannot say, let's have two-party system in Nigeria. It will be a product of historical development. But the problem, as I've already stated, has to do with the character of the politicians, who will never, based on the fact that they are not principled, they will never stick to a given political party and think of building that political party where there are problems. Because necessarily in life, when we have 2-3 persons organizing an activity, there will be conflict. They stay inside, adjust the system, and they make the party what it should be. But because of defection, you discover that we are running a system that you cannot easily describe. Because the PDP that supposed to be the opposition party is now talking of aligning and realigning, changing its name. You don't even know. The system is so fluid that there is confusion. So you cannot even say that Nigeria is emerging in the direction of a two-party system. Because tomorrow you will also see demarcations and realignment that will collapse the seemingly strong opposition party. There is nothing wrong actually with the existence of many political parties.
All right, thank you so much, sir. You're still watching Good Morning Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on MCL TV. We'll go for a break. When we come back, the line will be open for you to be part of today's program. Do stay with us.
One-stop breakfast show on TV. One-stop breakfast show on TV.
Chukwu na-enye ka nri onye ọbụla. Chukwu na-enye ka nri onye ọbụla. Ọ na-enye ka ndị ọrụ bekee na-eri ikpege n'ọnwa n'ọnwa. Ọ na-enye o, ọ na-enye o, Hello, my name is Buchi. Keep watching MCL TV and don't go away.
Alright, thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Good Morning Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on MCL TV. Still looking at the effect of multiple political parties in Nigeria, and we're still discussing with Mr. Okeji Okereke, who is a lecturer with Abia State Polytechnic. Now, sir, how does this affect the electorate? Talking about the multiple political parties that are registered in Nigeria.
Yeah, it at the surface creates confusion because when you have maybe 30 governorship candidates or 30 and above presidential candidates, as the case may be, there will certainly be that element of confusion. But it also has the advantage of providing the voters with multiple alternatives.
Let's see who's on the line. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning, you're welcome to the program. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Hello.
I can hear you. Tell us your name. You need to call us back again. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so it has the pros and the cons. And while at the negative side, it's too many persons. But we also believe that every voter must have outlined the characteristics of the person that he or she will want to vote for. And so it will be easy. 235 or so are not too many. And of course, given the constraints of resources, not all the contestants will have what it takes to actually organize rallies. And that is where the issue of sponsoring or aiding the political parties becomes an important element that we must look into. Because a lot of these people gather themselves together and get the aid that the government normally gives to political parties, and that will be the end. And so a lot of political analysts are suggesting that the government should withdraw all form of financial support for political parties and let those that want to get together, and they fund the movement.
Okay, let's see who's on the line. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
You're welcome to the program, sir. Your name and where you're calling us from, please.
Yes, Father Mobane.
Father Mobane, good to have you on the program. Your contribution, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I want to Chief Okereke there. Thank you for your contribution. You see, the importance of the multiple political parties is to create a greater opportunity, a widespread opportunity for so many people to be accommodated. If you reduce the political parties, you reduce the chances of so many people, there will be survival of the fittest. So that in a country like Nigeria, where there is a very large population, 100 million, so many people, and you know, political parties do with the ideas. And in the area, so many people have very good ideas, and they don't create all these political opportunities. Let us go to the idea of Chuba Akadibo when he was alive. And when I say Michagari gave him opportunity to be a political advisor, they asked him, what are your duties as a political advisor to the president? He said, Chuba Akadibo, I quote, my duty is to create and to give the president a multiplicity of choices for him to choose. A multiplicity of choices. My duty is not to decide the president what to do. As a political advisor, is to create multiplicity of choices. So the president will be opportunity to choose. So that multiplicity of opportunities is created in multiple political parties. And the effect will be that a float of ideas will be flowing and people will be opportunity to choose which way to go. And then it also provides opportunity for good politicians. People are not joining politics for the first time. They may not do so well in such in very big political parties, but they go to the smaller parties where they receive training. They begin to receive training for tomorrow. Take for instance, Donald Trump, who is now in a Republican, was sometime in a Democrat. He has been in so many political parties before he ended up as a Republican. Okay. And by the time he went through all this political training, he was now much more prepared to face contesting. The first idea of political party is not to win election. Immediately you create a political party, you stampede others and win election. But however, what I'm saying is that the end is to
right, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Because of our time, sir, I don't think we can continue with the discussion. So I want you to just briefly tell us, politicians are not principled. How can they be principled? Just briefly.
It has to do with the culture of the society. America never got to where she is today in just one day. I believe that Nigeria's political system is evolving, and gradually the politicians will be compelled to also change their character.
Thank you so much. That was a nice one. Thank you for making our time to be with us. Though it was little, but we sincerely had a good time with you.
Sorry, I came a bit late.
All right, thank you.
Constraints everywhere.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Hoping to have you some other times. We'll take a critical look at this issue. All right, this is how far we can go with the discussion. We'll go for a break. When we come back, it will be time for sports. And of course, it's coming from Jonah OJ. Do stay with us.
God has given you victory. Yeah, God has given you victory. Yeah, He has given you victory. Yeah, God has given you victory. Yeah, He has given you victory. What's up, people? It's your boy E-Ben, ministering to God's children, and you're watching MCL TV. Don't touch that dive. Peace. I love you.
MCL, the word in your home.
Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
Good morning and you're welcome to the sports segment of our program. This morning, my name is Jonah OJ. There are so many things to talk about in the world of sports, but right now I want to start with Delta State. You know that very soon they will be having different athletes that will come to compete in various in different events there. But before then, we want to start with the Enyimba International of Abia. You know that today they will be fighting out against their opponent in the CAF Confederations Cup second round, and that will take place at the Masiameka Stadium there, Dokia Masiameka Stadium there in Port Harcourt. Enyimba and Williamsville FC will resume their CAF Confederations Cup campaigns when they meet at the Dokia Masiameka Stadium in Port Harcourt. That is today. Nigeria's Enyimba comes into the game placed third on the Group C standings after collecting 3 points from their first two matches. The People's Elephant began with a 2-0 home win over Joliba before slumping to a 3-0 loss away to CARA Brazzaville in mid-May, with the Continental Tournament then going on recess for the 2018 World Cup. Williamsville, the Ivorian newcomers to African club competition, are placed top of the log with 4 points from their two outings. Meanwhile, Enyimba defender Ifeanyi and Emina has expressed confidence that his side will claim all 3 points in Wednesday evening's match. So that match will take place today to be by 2 p.m. So you can do well to from Port Harcourt, Dokia Masiameka Stadium to make sure that you cheer Enyimba to victory. They need to win this game, without which they will be walking on a tightrope. So we hope that they will give their best, and we also hope that the fans will give their best in cheering them to victory today. All right, let us now go over to athletics. Delta State came alive yesterday as they count down to the 21st African Athletics Championship enters its home stretch with the opening of the Stephen Keshi Stadium venue of the African Athletics Showpiece built for August 1 to 5. The commissioning will be preceded with the African Tour, an event that will see elite athletes from Nigeria, Ghana, Botswana, South Africa, Kenya, Gambia, Mauritius, and others compete to test run the facilities. Work on the stadium, named after one of Nigeria's renowned soccer legend, late Stephen Keshi, was started during the tenure of Governor James Ibori, but progress was stalled until 2 years ago when Delta State accepted to host the African Championships, saving Nigeria an embarrassment. Lagos State, the original host, was Food Dragon. Governor Kowa mobilized local contractors with the assistance of Chinese expatriates who worked on a rapid pace, leading to today's opening event. So it's a good thing that finally that African Championship is being kicked off, so that good and quality athletes will be discovered, so that they will be able to be harnessed and represent the country in the future. All right, let us now go over to another issue that has to do with boxing. I know that if you become a champion, there are so many people that will be coming to engage you in a fight, in a battle, so as to take that belt away from you. I'm talking about boxing. I want to tell you that American heavyweight Jared Miller confronted Anthony Joshua after storming the stage during the British World Champions face-off with Alexander Poveskin. Joshua and Poveskin went nose-to-nose in New York to promote their September 22 fight at Wembley Stadium in London, and Miller was yelling in the Brits' direction as the two fighters posed for photographs on Tuesday. The unbeaten American, who is from New York, grabbed Joshua's attention and was heard shouting, "Give them what they want," in an apparent dig at his clash with Poveskin, a 38-year-old Russian who the WBA ordered him to fight. That is what you see. While Anthony Joshua is focusing on Poveskin, an American boxer, Miller shouted to get Joshua's attention. Well, we'll see whether Joshua will decide to fight him. He will engage in a bout against him after fighting Poveskin. All right, that is what you see in the world of boxing. When you become the champion of any boxing, any fight, you will see so many opponents coming from right, left, and center, trying to drag that belt away from you. All right, this is where we'll call it quits. I hand you over to Sulamanda.
Thank you so much, Jonaje, for the sports update. This is how far we can go with the program today. Thank you for sharing your time with us. I am Stella Mwando. Join us again tomorrow for another wonderful edition of Good Morning Abia. And please do have a lovely day ahead. Stay tuned for Una Salachi Umabia. Bye for now.
MCL, the word in your home.